Uh,
We have to exchange stories about Alaska.
Oh, yeah.
I went to Alaska too this summer. Yeah,
Oh, you did?
I did.
How did you get there?
So beautiful there. So one of my best friends has lived in outside of Anchorage for 27 years.
Wow.
So I definitely got the resident version. Yeah. Hello. So yeah, it was pretty phenomenal. But we flew into Anchorage, and then they picked us up by helicopter.
Oh, yeah.
It was awesome.
Wow.
Right.
You just surpassed it.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah. So mine, I know, mine was more, it was unique.
Fun,
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
Your whole family?
No, and that's what was funny because, so my friend Tara and her husband ran a business for 24 years called Arctic Adventures.
Oh, okay.
So they own a lodge on this remote lake, and they ran it so people would stay at the lodge and then they take them out fishing or whatever by helicopter. But the helicopter only holds, the pilot and then 4 others. So Tara has a daughter 1 year older than my daughter, and every time we've ever talked about it, she's like, it just needs to be you and Julia, because then Isabel and I can go with you guys.
Oh, yeah.
If it's the 4 of you, then like we can't be part, like, so it.
That's fair. So it was the girls.
So then I found a sleepaway camp for Aiden.
Ah, well done. Oh.
It was so calculated to be able to like.
We had fun.
Oh my God, we had the best. It was the best.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you stayed out at this lodge.
So we stayed at this lodge, and yeah, I don't know. Tara just amazes me how she has run her life for the past 25 years. I mean, and every fall, every spring, she's stuck because the water freezes, and she can't get to it because there's no road access to her house.
Wow.
So she has to.
It sounds like it's supposed to be on television.
I know. She's like the modern day medicine woman.
Already people living up there.
Yeah. No, she's like, I always call her today's version of the medicine woman.
Oh, cool. And is she originally from there?
No, Colorado.
They say once people move there, we want to stay.
Yeah.
Those kind of die-hard Alaskans that are ready to do what you're trying to do.
Well, she's Colorado, so she definitely had that,
She had that
outdoors. Yeah.
Yeah, but she went from hot to cold. No?
Well, Colorado, she didn't live in Denver, like she was definitely more like a skier, and ooh, you threw off Satish's back row, he's front row today.
Yeah, we forced him out.
I know. All right, everybody have blocks? All right. So this class is meant to take you beyond the basics and challenge you, but the focus is still the same, on the breath, and to honor your body and decide really where you are today and how much you want to be pushed. You can still take child's pose for half the class if that's where you are today. I think I just want to make that message very clear. So an intermediate class does move a little bit at a faster clip. We try and warm up with sun salutations versus warming up to do a sun salutation. It's probably a good explanation. And to move beyond basics, to move into an arm balance, maybe moving from tree to eagle without taking a break in between, the body needs to be warm. So, I mean, hot yoga studios exist because the thought is, well, if our body's warm, then we'll be able to be more pliable. Well, I've always believed that we can warm our bodies just through the asana and breath work, and that we don't need to have a 95-degree room. But it serves a purpose, and people love it. So doing the sun salutations gets your breath moving, or your breath is helping to move you through those sun salutations, and the warming begins. And then when your body's warmer, it's maybe able to approach an arm balance. If you try and go into an arm balance cold, you will definitely find it. Oh, good. Deb's joining us. Hi, Deb. So we did go over in sun salutations, there's the lowering down, right? And to me, I want to make sure that you're doing where you're at. So from plank pose to lower to the ground, there's 3 options: knees, chest, chin, lowering knees, and then the whole upper body like that. And then there's the pose chaturanga. So chaturanga is probably one of the hardest poses in yoga. And if you think about it, it's because you are holding 3/4 of your body weight. You are lowering 3/4 of your body weight. It takes a lot of arm strength to do that. So I don't want you to feel pressured to do chaturanga just because somebody else in the class is doing it, or thinking that, oh, well, if I achieve that pose, then I achieve, yoga. The blocks are amazing tools to work up to the different levels of lowering down. So come on in, Marilyn. Welcome, welcome. So I want you to have the blocks handy. The blocks are also good that when we're moving through different standing series, that if you want to place your hand on the block when we're opening into triangle or extended side angle, that also never think that using a block means you're not doing the pose correctly. I always think of it the opposite, that it actually really enhances your ability to be in the pose. So we're definitely I'm gonna cue using the blocks when we lower down to start getting you guys doing the proper alignment for that. I don't want any shoulder injuries, most importantly. So we're gonna, once we get a little warmed up, we'll practice lowering with the blocks. They're really, really good tools. So let's start in a seat. Deb's with us. Yeah, I think you're the only one. All right, yeah. How is everyone feeling today? This beautiful weather. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I can tell that my dog, my dog actually wants to be outside again. I know. The blocks match Marilyn's outfit. Yeah. Give me 1 sec. I read something yesterday that I wanted to share. Forgot to pull it up. All right. All right, so let's just find a comfortable seat and just like yesterday, soften the eyes or close them. Start to tune in to your seat, your posture, chin parallel with the earth, and just think for a moment about your mat being your yoga home, your shala. And just visualize the perimeter of your mat, of your yoga home. Bring yourself into this present moment. So one of the yoga teacher I follow, her name is Libby, and she is a doctor of PT. So her big thing is the anatomy. And she sent out this yesterday about a Zen koan, K-O-A-N. And a koan is like a riddle with wisdom hiding inside that needs to be unpacked and understood. So this one she references says, don't mistake your finger for the moon. Imagine yourself walking out to gaze on a majestic full moon. Allow yourself to feel the awe and wonderment that arises within you when you stand under the light of the moon and acknowledge your connection to all that is. Let's call this experience of inspiration and connection the moon. Spiritual practices are often designed to help practitioners cultivate such an inner state of inspiration, connection, and contentment. Yoga is like this. The practices of yoga, including asana, because yoga extends to more than just the physical. The practices are tools to point us in the direction of the moon. So let's call the practices your finger. Over time, if we aren't careful, we can conflate the finger that is pointing to the moon with the moon itself. We may get caught up with the practices as though they are the end goal. And we forget that the practices are just tools to get us somewhere inside so that our inner experience may be transformed. So let's just digest that for a moment. Sharon Gannon also has teachings that refer to this, that we want to not mistake the practices as being the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is finding non-attachment to our ego, finding a shift, calming of the whirlings of the mind, so that we're able to reconnect with our higher. Bringing your hands to heart center, setting an intention for your practice this morning, focusing on these thoughts and these thoughts of just being in the present moment, not worrying about what you can or can't do, but staying true and honoring yourself your body, your breath. Feeling gratitude for what you are able to do, not what you can't do. And let's open with the sound of Om. Take a full inhale, sigh it out through the mouth. Flickering the eyes open, looking to your right, your left, behind and front, saying hi to your neighbor. We're all here together. All right, so let's start in hands and knees. So move the blocks just to the front of your mat. So they're accessible. And we'll start just moving through some cow and cat. So find neutral, where the navel is pulling toward the spine. And then on your inhale, lifting the crown of your head, tilting your tailbone up to find cow pose. And on your exhale, moving into cat. Inhale into cow pose. And exhale into cat. So move through at least another 3 more. And just noticing any sensations, noticing if there's extra stiffness in the spine or if the breath feels shallow or full. Just being your own self-study. And also moving with your breath, so you're really feeling the movement into cow on your inhale, and the movement into cat on your exhale. And then next time you come into cat, stay in cat pose. Really push into the earth, push the earth away from you. Really feeling that rounding of the spine. And then with that rounded spine, I want you to push your seat to your heels. Keep your arms fully extended out in front of you. So really finding full extension in the arms. Come up on your fingertips and press the fingertips into your mat and energetically pull back. So you feel that broadening across your shoulder blades. Beautiful. And then inhale back up to tabletop. We're going to extend the right leg back. Lift it up, hip height. Float the left arm up. Find spinal balance. Inhale, lengthen. Push that heel. Really flex that foot and push the heel toward the windows. Take an inhale. On your exhale, bring your elbow to meet your knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee. One more time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee. And then hold this. Hold elbow to knee. And then pull that left arm out to the side. Pull your right leg out to the side. So making a cactus arm and fire hydrant leg. So bring that knee, instead of the foot facing the ceiling, that knee's shining out to the side. And then lengthen, left arm forward, right leg back, and come back down to tabletop. Take a full breath in and out. Then extend left leg behind, lift that left leg up, level hips out, raise the right arm, spinal balance. So on your inhale, lengthen through that left heel, reach through the right fingertips, and then exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen, and then pull that, bring the elbow to meet the knee, and then swing that arm out and the leg out. Hold. Then inhale, lengthen. And come back to tabletop, wide-legged child's pose. So separate your knees as wide as your mat. Bring your toes to touch. Let your seat drop toward your heels. Let your chest and forehead bow toward the earth. This time, relax the arms. Let the elbows bend and soften. And then breathe into your belly. Feel the fullness of the breath expanding the rib cage. Feel the breath reach the lower back, releasing tension from the low back. One more breath in and out, and then inhale your way back to tabletop. Lift up onto your knees, and we'll take the left foot out to the side, setting up for gate pose. So really root down through that left foot, edge of the left foot parallel with the wall. Inhale the right arm up by the ear, and then come into your side bend. Try and reach through the right fingertips as you side bend. Open up through the right side of your chest. Another breath in, and then on your exhale, drop the right hand down to the floor. Take the left arm up. So option here to keep that left foot on the floor, or maybe lift that left leg off the floor. If you're lifting it, flex that left foot and push through the heel. If you find that you're sitting back, if the right sit bone is going toward sitting down, then drop that left foot down. We want to try and keep almost like you're peeling yourself open to the sky. And then lower down. Bring the right arm up. And then we're going to drop the left hand down, side bend to the left. Inhale that left arm up like you're holding the moon, side bend to the right. Inhale through center, side bend to the left. Float that left arm up, side bend to the right. One more time each side. Inhale through center, side bend to the right. And then sweep down to the right to bring yourself back down to the floor, tabletop. Push yourself back to child's pose for breath. Inhale fully and exhale. Inhale back up to tabletop, or if you need another breath in child's pose, go ahead and take it. And then we're going to take that right foot out to the side. Edge of the right foot parallel with the wall. Inhale, left arm up, and then start walking those fingertips down the leg as you reach through the left fingertips. Softening that left shoulder. So creating space between left shoulder and left ear. Opening up through the rib cage, the muscles in the rib cage. One more inhale. And then exhale that left hand down, reaching the right arm up, staying here in the supported way with the foot on the floor, or lifting that right leg up. And again, mindful that you're not collapsing into this, that you're not sitting that sits bone down, that you're staying in a nice vertical way. Beautiful. Push through that right heel. Another breath in. And then exhale down. Then we'll flow. Bring the arm up. Hold that moon. Exhale into the side bend to the right. Inhale, arm up, and then side bend to the left. Inhale through center, side bend to the right. Inhale through center, side bend to the left. Inhale through center and side bend to the right. Inhale up one more time, over to the left, and then sweep those arms back down, finding tabletop, bringing that right knee to meet the left. Inhale into cow pose. Exhale into cat. Tuck your toes under and organically grow into downward dog with that rounded spine. Getting full extension in the arms. Beautiful. Really nice. So when we move into downward dog from cat pose, we're already opening up the spine to give us that sense of lengthening in downward dog. Pedal out your downward dog, drop one heel, and bend the opposite knee, pedaling it out a couple times. And then we're gonna rock forward to plank pose. So lift your gaze, look between your hands, start to rock the body forward, dropping the hips. So you're coming into plank, shoulders are past the wrists. Exhale back into downward dog. Two more times. Inhale, rock the body forward, drop the hips. Exhale, downward dog. Heels can be lifted the whole time. Inhale into plank. And exhale into downward dog. Now lift your gaze to look between your hands and walk one footprint. Try and heel toe it up to the front of your mat to feel that stretch for your calves. And then bring your one block to the highest height and bring your fingertips to that block to find a half lift. And hang out here for a few breaths to find that hamstring stretch. So legs are straight. Feel the lengthening from your low back out through the crown of your head. So if you feel any rounding or sagging of the belly, draw the belly in, draw the navel toward the spine, really feel that part of your belly engaged. If you feel a rounding in the shoulder blades or upper back, see if you can drop the chest down a little bit and really think about lengthening out through the spine, out to the crown of the head. And now float the arms up halfway. Reach the arms straight out from the shoulders. And then continue to lift up. Inhale the arms overhead, hands coming to heart center. And Tadasana. So before we move into a sun salutation, I'm going to show you the three options for lowering. So the first, we drop to knees, we lower chest and chin. You see my sits bones sticking straight up. Slide onto the belly. Ideally, hands are by your ribs, elbows tucked in, so then you transition nicely into cobra. Lower down, toes tuck under, you push your seat to your heels and come into downward dog. Second option, so plank, drop your knees. Elbows hug in, but you lower the whole upper body down, but in a forward motion so that you're still positioned well for cobra. And then third option, so we're in downward dog, rocking forward to plank, hugging elbows in and lowering chaturanga. And then sliding the body forward into upward dog. You notice my thighs never touch down. And then I'm gonna roll over onto my toes for downward dog. So let's all grab our blocks. I want you to try something for each one. Bring your block to the middle height, and they're gonna go right in front of your fingers so that when we touch down, your shoulders are gonna touch the block. So come to hands and knees. Notice I'm pitching my shoulders forward. So do you notice that slant in my legs? Forward. And then I'm gonna lower and I'm gonna rest my shoulders on the blocks. Everybody there? So lower like you do knees, chest, chin, and let your shoulders drop onto the blocks. And then push back up. So rock forward, shoulders coming past wrists, bend elbows, hug the elbows in, let the shoulders rest on the blocks, and then push back up. Next one, I want you to bring the block to the middle of your mat and the other block both middle height. So set them so they're about a half a foot apart. So Karen, set your blocks like this. We're gonna try one more pose. Karen, yeah. Okay, so now bring your hands in front of the front block. Tuck your toes under, lift to plank. So Gail, try and drop your hips a little lower. Yeah. So rock forward a little bit, bend your elbows, hug them in and lower so your pelvis rests on the lower block and your rib cage is on the front block. So you might have to adjust your blocks accordingly. So the idea though is that we're pitching forward, then lowering. So front block should fall right here by your rib cage. Lower block, pelvis. Everybody get there? Looks good. And then lift back up. Beautiful. So where you lower, so everybody can drop to the knees or whatever and rest for a minute. So watch up front. So I'm in plank, right? If I lower here, look how far forward my hands are. And I'm not gonna have the right position to be able to come up into upward dog. So that pitching forward, you see the difference? So I'm here and lowering versus here and lowering. Big difference. Everybody come to their knees for a second. Bring your arms out in front of you. If you bring your hands straight back by your shoulders, look at your elbows. They come out to the sides, right? If you come down and bring the elbows in here, the hands are positioned correctly, because watch what happens. This is the key part. If I drop here and then try and come into upward dog, look at my shoulders. If I pitch forward, come down here, then come into upward dog, or cobra, I'm not clenching on my low back, and my shoulders, there's a big space between shoulders and ears. So those three options, when we're moving through a sun salutation, I'm just gonna cue plank, lower down, your choice. So it's up to you. This is really, honestly, the part of intermediate yoga. You making the choice of what works for your body. So if I just cue lower down, you're not following exactly what I'm saying to do. You're making the choice. Got it? So let's try all three. So come to plank. All three, we pitch forward a little bit, then drop knees. Lower chin and chest, sits bones are sticking up. Slide forward onto the belly. And then come into cobra. Lower down, tuck your toes under, back to tabletop. Pitch forward. Elbows hug in. Now keep the hips low and lower the upper body. So thighs, hips, and belly all hit at the same time. And your hands are by your lowest set of ribs. We come into cobra. Lower down. Come back to tabletop. This time, come forward to plank. So you can place the blocks, if you want, under the pelvis and the rib cage to help you for chaturanga. Lower down. And then you can practice upward dog with the block supporting you, and then coming into downward dog. So practice a couple times which way you want to lower down. Try not to collapse in the belly area or where you're collapsing and dropping the thighs down. With any of the three options, we're doing it mindfully with some control. And find your way into downward dog. Look between your hands and walk your feet up to the front of your mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Let's just shake it out a little bit. Hold opposite elbows. Rock from side to side. Let the head hang. Letting it be heavy. Shake the head, yes, no. And then release that bind, bend your knees and roll up to stand. Finding our mountain pose, Tadasana. And we use Tadasana in sun salutations as a reset button. Take a full breath in and out. Moving into our sun salutation A. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, diving forward into forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step both feet back to find plank pose. Your choice, lowering down. Make sure you pitch forward a little bit with any of the three. And then if you did knees, chest, chin, transition into cobra. If you did chaturanga, upward dog, then find your way to move into downward dog, either rolling over the toes if you were in upward dog, or pushing your seat to your heels, or finding that cat pose and moving in a downward dog from there. Beautiful, everyone. 2 more full breaths. Really feel the inhale move from your hands to your sits bones. Your exhale from your sits bones to your feet. One more breath in. And out, look between your hands. Either walk the feet up or put a deep bend in your knees. And hop forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Yogi's choice, either roll up to stand or flip the arms out to the sides. Taking them overhead. Hands to heart center, mountain pose for our reset. We're going to do the same sun salutation. So you have the option to mix up how you lower. You can put your blocks in position to help you. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead, and exhale, dive forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands, step your feet back, find plank. Pitch the body forward, your choice. To lower, and then either cobra or upward dog. Making your way into downward dog when you are ready. So if you have to take an extra breath in upward dog or cobra, go ahead and do that. So lifting the hips up toward the sky, sits bones up toward the sky. Finding that upside down V pose. If there's some tightness in the shoulders, bend the knees a little bit in downward dog. Look between your hands, either hop forward or step the feet forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale, fold. Inhale, sweeping the arms or rolling up to stand. Hands to heart center, Tadasana. We're going to do this whole sun salutation with blocks. So place your blocks at the lowest height on either side of your feet. Just want you to see the difference with hands on blocks. Inhale the arms overhead and exhale, dive forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, bend your knees, hands on the blocks, step both feet back to find plank. Then lower knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Sliding onto our bellies and lifting into cobra or upward dog. When you're ready, transitioning into downward dog with the hands on the blocks. 5 breaths. Inhale, exhale 1. Inhale, exhale 2. Inhale, exhale 3. Look between your hands. So this could be fun. Hop forward with the blocks there, makes it a little bit more accessible. Woo! Inhale, half lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms or roll up to stand. Hands to heart center. Tadasana. Beautiful, everyone. 3 sun salutations in a row. Chair pose. Weight in the heels. Your sits bones sitting back toward the heels. Soften your shoulders. And then straighten the legs a little bit. Put the weight in your left foot, lift your right foot off the mat. And then switch. Lift the left foot. And switch. right foot, weight in the left. Switch. Adding on, put weight in the left foot. Lift your right foot, cross that right foot over the left knee. Sit back in your chair. Flex that left foot. So try and make a figure 4. So that ankle is resting. Go try and flex that foot. Yeah, beautiful. Nice job, everyone. Yep. And then release that right foot. Fold forward. Forward fold. Full breath in. And out. Start to come into chair again. Dropping the seat. Inhale the arms up by the ears. Figure 4 on the other side. So weight in the right foot. Lift that left foot off. Cross it, the ankle over that right thigh, and then sit back down. Flex the left foot. Weight, root down into that right foot. And then release. Fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Float the arms out to the sides and overhead, bringing yourself up to stand. Hands to heart center. Tadasana reset button. Inhale and exhale. Inhale to chair. Hands to heart center. Twist to the right. Trying to hook the left elbow. If it doesn't hook, that's okay. More importantly, if your left knee is moving forward, draw it back. So adding on here, I want you to look at your right elbow. Put weight in your left foot. Wrong. Put weight in your right foot. Step that left leg back. That's okay. If you didn't get it the first time, I want to try again. So we're here in chair. Weight in the right foot. Step that left leg back. Staying in that twist. If not, then come out of the twist. Come into the low lunge. And then come back into the twist. And then bring hands to heart center, hands down to the block. Step that right leg back, find plank. Pitch the body forward, drop knees, lower thighs, hips, and belly, all at the same time. Elbows by your side. Then I want you to press up so you're on the tops of your feet, coming into upward dog using the blocks. Roll over your toes, find downward facing dog. Look between your hands, either step your feet or a light hop forward. Lift up halfway. Float the arms out to the sides and overhead. Hands to heart center. Tadasana. Reset button. Full breath in and out. Inhale to chair pose. Hands to heart center, twist to the left. Check in with your knees. If that right knee is moving forward, draw it back. So if you'd like to join me, stay in this twist or weight in the left foot, step that right foot back. If that's not working for you, just come to hands at center, put put your hands on the blocks and then step your right leg back. Then come into the twist. So we all meet in the twist. Choose how you get there. That right heel is lifted. Feel that extension in that leg. And then hands to heart center, hands down to the blocks. Step that left foot back. Lower your knees. Hug the elbows in. Lower the whole upper body to the floor. And we come into upward dog. So big push into the blocks to straighten your arms. So you're on the tops of your feet. Then rolling over the tops of your feet into downward dog. And you can move the blocks to the side here or keep them under your hands. Full breath in and out. Full breath in and exhale it through the nose. And then look between your hands. Either a light hop forward or walk the feet up. Inhale to a half lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, sweeping the arms around and overhead, hands to heart center. Finishing with mountain pose, Tadasana, or your reset button. Full breath in and out. Hands come to heart center, lift up on your toes. Find a drishti to focus on for balance. And begin bending the knees. Lowering down to tiptoe squat at any point. You can reach for the blocks to help you lower. As you lower, when you get there, keep your sits bones off your heels. Draw the belly in. Rock forward, straighten the legs, separate the feet as wide as your mat, coming into a wider leg. Forward fold. Full breath in. And out, and then lift up halfway. Come up on your fingertips and turn your toes out. Setting up for Malasana, squat pose. So we want our toes turning out so that when we bend the knees, we want our knees to track with the toes. So start to squat, knees bending, tracking with that second toe, and your pelvic floor moving toward the floor. Maybe slide a block under your seat for support. Elbows to the inside. Ideally, you want to try and have your spine be vertical. So use that block. Your mat is your home. Full breath in and out. Rocking off of that block if you used it. If not, everybody go ahead and find a seat. Lower the back to the mat. Hug the knees into your chest. Rock from side to side. And we start cooling the body down. So try closing the eyes here and just find stillness. Rest your hands on top of your knees, fingers moving down toward the top of your shin. And just feel the whole back. Make a connection with the earth. Focus only on your breath. Let the feet drop down to the mat. Grab your block, place it in between your thighs. The short side facing you. Make sure you're moving the block toward your pelvis so that it's not like your knees are squeezing the block, but your thighs are. And then reach down, extend your arms. If you can't reach your heels, try walking your feet back a little bit. Setting up for bridge pose. So inhale to lift the hips. Have the thighs press the block. Feel your glutes engaged. By having our glutes engaged, we find that back extension versus any sort of back clenching. Your nose and gaze facing the ceiling. Try not to turn your head in bridge. One more breath in, and on your exhale, lower one vertebrae at a time. Second bridge, inhale, press into your feet. Hips lifting toward the ceiling, glutes engaged. Breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Creating an environment for a healthy back. One more breath in. And exhale, lower down. And remove that block. Extend your left leg out long onto the mat. Hug your right knee into your chest, coming into a spinal twist. So grab that block, place it on your left side, so that when you roll onto the left side of your body, that right knee can rest on that block. So you can turn that block to the middle height or the lowest. Extend the right arm straight out, palm face up. 5 breaths in and out. Allow that left leg to go soft. With each breath, noticing the release in the spinal column, the massage for your intestines. One more breath in and out. And then we'll bring that right leg back to center, hug the left knee in. Find neutral. Extend the right leg out long onto the mat. Change the position of that block, bringing it over to the right side. Keep that left knee drawing in as we guide it over to the right. Rolling onto that right side of the body, letting the right leg be soft. Letting that left knee rest on the block. Left arm extending out. So try and extend that left arm from the shoulder, palm face up. Beautiful. Feeling the opening in that side of the chest. With your breath, really exploring where else you can soften. Maybe helping to glide that left shoulder blade under a little bit. Next inhale, start rocking onto the back. Hug the knees into the chest, find neutral, and then let the feet come down to the mat. Take your block, slide it under your low back at the lowest setting. So finding that it's under your sacrum, that bony part, and then bring the knees up to 90 degrees and extend them straight up to the ceiling. A version of supported shoulder stand here. So we want to try and have our legs be perpendicular. Allow the bony part of your low back to feel fully supported. Try not to have the legs coming towards you, but straight up. Inversions help to physically reverse the circulation. Mentally, they help us to see things from a different perspective. Slowly begin to bend the knees, letting the feet drop down to the mat, and then sliding that block out from under. Hug the knees into your chest, fingers under the knees, and begin to rock forward and back. Bless you. Coming up to a seat. Extend the legs out in front of you and then setting up for supported fish pose. So bring one block, lowest setting. It's going to go right in between your shoulder blades. And the other block is for your head. So we start to lower. Find that position in between your shoulder blades to start. And then reach back and you can adjust the block for your head to either the lowest or the middle if you want your head to lift up a little bit. Arms coming out to the sides, palms turning up for a receptive pose. So feeling the chest opening here, reversing what we just did with that supported shoulder sleeve. Yeah. Feels awkward at first. Allowing the heart space to open and reverse that constriction that we did in that supported shoulder stand. We'll now release anything blocked. Really focus, bring your awareness to your heart space. Inhale thoughts of removing obstacles. Exhale, gratitude. tracing your breath. Start sliding the arms in a little closer so you can press into the elbow and forearm. Lift yourself up enough where you can just move the blocks out of the way so you can return to your back. Slowly lowering back down to find corpse pose, Shavasana. Take up as much space as you need to. You can bring awareness to the middle of your brain. Let the tongue drop away from the roof of your mouth, resting comfortably in your mouth. If a thought comes in, a random thought, acknowledge it, and then let it pass, coming back to this focus, the middle of your brain. One ocean of breath. Allowing your breath to wash over you. Releasing into the support beneath you. Allow yourself to land fully. Release any urge to hold yourself up. Allowing the breath to become involuntary. Land, arrive, and rest. In his book, Old Path, White Clouds, Walking in the Footsteps of the Buddha, Thich Nhat Hanh, the revered Buddhist monk, describes this teaching of don't mistake your finger for the moon as this. The teaching is merely a vehicle to describe the truth. Don't mistake it for the truth itself. A finger pointing at the moon is not the moon. The finger is needed to know where to look for the moon. But if you mistake the finger for the moon itself, you will never know the real moon. The teaching is like a raft that carries you to the other shore. The raft is needed, but the raft is not the other shore. An intelligent person would not carry the raft around on his head after making it across to the other shore. So with the full moon approaching, maybe head outside one night to admire the actual moon and see what some good old-fashioned moon gazing stirs up inside you. Begin to deepen your breath and invite small movements back in. Noticing any sensation as you invite in a deeper breath. Notice the residue from the asana practice. Maybe float the arms overhead for a long stretch. When you're ready, pulling the knees into your chest and rolling onto your right side, taking a couple of deep breaths here to enliven the body. When you're ready, pressing into the left hand, the right arm to help move you up to a seat. Bringing yourself up slowly, keeping the eyes closed or at a soft gaze. Let's circle the arms overhead, palms to touch, draw down gratitude and thanks to your heart space. A soft bow of the head toward your heart for showing up today. Doesn't matter what your practice might have looked like. Extend gratitude for yourself for just showing up, being part of the present. The light in me sees and honors the light in each of you. Sealing the practice with one Om. Take a full inhale. Om. Namaste. Thank you. And know that I am learning alongside you all. This is the first time I've taught more intermediate in a long time, since before COVID. So I'm learning, and let me know, give me feedback, on don't include that. We're not ready for it. The what? Deb, thanks for joining us.
It was great. Thanks.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And just know that you get strong, the strength will come with practice. I know. Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah, 1:30. Sorry, I announced the wrong time yesterday. So many of my classes at the studio where I teach are at 9:30. So I just had 9:30 on the brain. But no, 10 o'clock on Tuesdays, and then 1:30 tomorrow for yoga and meditation.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. And if you